Hi everyone, my name is Aaliyah, and the topic that I chose for my presentation and paper is tobacco use among the American youth. So tobacco has been around for many years. It has been known to boost our economy but also destroy our health. With that said, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention says that tobacco use is the leading cause of preventable disease, disability, and death in the United States. There have been many efforts to combat this, whether it be in forms of campaigns and further research. But this has been a product that has been staying around for many years. Um, right now, the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, has listed many products as a tobacco product, and some of them don't even include tobacco. Because of this day and age, we are now seeing new products that are affecting our American youth that share common ingredients, but some of them look a little different than others. Um, and these ingredients will include things like arsenic, lead, and other toxins, nicotine being one of them. And nicotine is what considers certain tobacco products to be a tobacco product. So, according to the FDA, something like a Juul, which is an e-cigarette, can be labeled as a tobacco product because it contains certain levels of nicotine. So while on top of all the other ingredients, while it doesn't include tobacco, it does contain nicotine, which is why they list it as a tobacco product. Um, so specifically, the age range of the youth that is being targeted with this with this health issue of tobacco is the American youth who are between the ages of 15 and 21. So these are generally high school to college age students. Um, and so, with that, you can automatically just assume that things like peer pressure and stuff like that come into play. But what we're generally seeing right now is influence from the tobacco industry and how they are kind of targeting the youth. And this is mostly seen in how the product is being distributed, how tobacco is being seen in different ways, other than just a traditional cigarette. Because now you have things like e-cigarettes, for example, like I said before, a Juul, vapes, and these are all things that are rechargeable. They come in flavor, so now you have mango flavor, and they are electric and easily hidden. And that's how the tobacco industry is really targeting our American youth between the ages of 15 and 21. In fact, a Truth Initiative study show that nearly 2/3 of Juul users aged 15 to 21 were not aware that products always contain nicotine. And the lack of education is what the tobacco industry is really prying on, because even though it doesn't contain product or tobacco and nicotine, those are still harmful toxins that do a lot to your body in general. So some of the short-term effects that smoking tobacco and inhaling all of the harmful toxins such as arsenic, ammonia, nicotine that these tobacco products are containing are some short-term effects are fatigue, reduction of taste and smell, bad breath, shortness of breath, coughing, and long-term effects not only are death, but they include health diseases and disabilities like heart disease, cancer, loss of extremities, and this is especially important and prevalent in smokers who begin at a younger age. So in general, all of these products release harmful toxins to the body, which in return create many general health effects that are very bad. But one health effect that is extremely detrimental to the health of the youth is how these products affect the brain. And as someone who is between the ages of 15 and 21, your brain is fully not developed yet. And so these products can really impede on how your brain is developing. In fact, one study conducted research to specifically look at the effects that tobacco and nicotine have on the brain, and they stated that smoking during adolescence increases the risk of developing psychiatric disorders and cognitive impairment in later life. In addition, adult smokers suffer from attention deficits, which aggravated with the year of smoking. The tobacco industry has been able to target us and market their products to something that would appeal to our needs, our wants, and things like that. Like I had said before, they're making them, with flavors, they're making them chargeable, electric, and easily hidden. And it's because of this that we are more appealed to them, and because they are also, appealing to the fact that there is a lack of education in this area, especially for us. So in one of the theories and articles that I was searching, they had talked about how e-cigarette advertisements pretty much are almost always appealing to the youth. And they found in their study that all ads include some youth appealing content with frequent use of emotional appeals, including happiness at 68%, friendship at 41%, sex 24%, and success in 24%. So emotional appeals are things that appeal to us and make us feel some kind of way. One thing that they had listed in that study that ranked pretty high next to happiness was friendship. And this is where that idea of peer pressure comes into play. So in addition to the article that I had just said, I found another article that talked more specifically about peer pressure and social influence. And in doing that, they stated that the proportion of closest friends who smoked had a significant relationship with e-cigarette use in adult non-smokers. So with his findings, it was evident that the people who didn't smoke were more likely to smoke when they were around people who did. And going back to the tobacco industry and how they are distributing and marketing their products, another study and research that I had found was they concluded that advertising for e-cigarettes has been heavily aimed at adolescents. Everything from billboards to the packaging to the product itself has been aimed at teens. And again, like I said before, this comes down to the flavors. I mean, when they're saying like mango and bubblegum flavor, of course, that appeals to our childlike senses and makes it sound like it's interesting that you should try it. So there have been many organizations and health campaigns that have been combating this issue. And in doing so, I thought this was important to find some statistics and research to see, what they're doing wrong, what they're doing right. Especially this was important when developing my own health campaign. And they said in one research article, they discussed how ads focusing on young victims suffering from serious tobacco-related diseases elicited disgust, enhance anti-industry motivation, and reduce intent to smoke among all conduct disordered adolescents. So if we're going back to the one theory on emotional appeals that I had researched, it is evident that that is something that works. So taking all of that research and coming up with a conclusion and things like that, I was able to produce 2 health campaign messages. The first one that I developed was a regular old flyer advertisement because I was aiming at an audience that was between the ages of 15 and 21. I thought it would be more beneficial if something was more in their face. So with that said, what I mean by that is posting the flyer around school, in dorms, in the cafeteria, in a high school, everywhere they see it. And this is a graphic that is pretty much in your face. I mean, the color is red, the font is sporadically chosen with intent, meaning that the point that we want to get across is in different font colors than a regular message. The statistics speaks out volumes, and it really gets the point across. And then my second health campaign message is a video. It is a PSA that would be televised on television, and it can even be used on social media, and the same for the flyer as well. It can be posted all over social media too. And the intention with this is to pretty much combat the advertisements that youth are seeing from the tobacco industry, and to break up the negative content that is unhealthy for them and produce something that's more. It's appealing to their emotional senses. So I related back to that theory on emotional appeals. And it also is focusing on peer pressure, as well as there are some personal stories in there. It's meant to be sad. It's meant to be serious, which in the end, that will produce great things. So here's the video.
New developments tonight in those mysterious lung illnesses linked to e-cigarettes.
Vaping is dangerous.
Yet thousands of young people pick up the habit every day.
People that I know that do it, they're like good students, like straight A's. It's a normal thing to do. I was 13 the first time I vaped.
People at my high school, they would vape on the bus just because it's like so easy to hide. It's just like a little like black pen. I could just vape at home, like my parents don't know at all.
I knew it was a vape that made you feel good, that gave you a buzz, and that's all I knew. I didn't know what was in it. I didn't know what it did to my body, my brain, my mentality. It changed everything.
Patients ranging in age from 16 to 60 is the equivalent to someone smoking cigarettes for decades.
It literally can kill you the first time you try it.
Thanks so much for watching.